Welcome to That's No Class. I'm Brian Berumen.
And I'm Morgan Darian.
Welcome back to the home of class. Here's a way a listener described the show to me this week. Refreshing compared to the other stuff that's out there.
Ooh,
and when they listen,
nice.
they feel like they're part of the conversation.
Oh, I like that.
We love that. You are all part of the conversation. Call the voicemail. Chime in.
God damn it. Call it the voicemail.
Oh, yeah. Morgan said I'm not supposed to tell you guys what to do. Sorry. Okay.
Just teasing.
We want to give a shout out to the people watching and listening to us on YouTube this week. I thank you, and Morgan thanks you, because you guys are the reason that I'm shaving every week now. Can't be looking like a no-class piece when we're on camera. Nice. So thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for watching.
I love it.
All right, time now for some news.
Now here's the news.
All right, well, guys, I want to thank you again for listening, because it's not going to be too long now before I'm going to be out of a job, and this is going to be the only thing that I got going on.
Why?
So I told you guys back on episodes 6 and 7 that this was going to be the year that AI changes the game. And now it's coming specifically for me.
What?
So Spotify, where you may be listening to the show right now, is rolling out a new feature that's an AI-powered DJ that will make you a playlist. And at first I thought, isn't that what those made-for-you genre playlists are that already exist? But here's the twist. The playlist is supposed to be constantly changing depending on your input. And in between blocks of songs, there's an AI-powered voice that talks to you and tells you trivia about the songs that you're listening to and the artists.
Interesting.
And The Verge says that the voice is really good and it's really believable as a real person.
You know what? Actually, I believe this because I don't know if I ever told you about this, but we have a Google Assistant that calls the restaurant.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And every single time it calls, I think it's a real person because it has like a little attitude. It always says, I'm calling for a client and I would like to know how long the wait is. And I'm like, every time I'm like, it's looking like maybe like 20 minutes right now, blah, 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 blah. And I like talk to it like it's a real person. And it's like, okay, I will share that with my client. Like, it's disappointed. Every time it's disappointing to me.
But then do you realize that...
And then I'm like, gosh, dang it. It's a stupid AI, and it's not even a real person.
Do you give it attitude back?
Yeah, I'm like, okay, have a good one.
Why? You should just hang up on it. You don't even need social niceties.
I didn't know it was an AI for a really long time.
Dang.
I was like, man, this guy really says the same thing over and over again.
And it's the same guy.
It's the same dude.
He's got a lot of clients.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess these things are really good. I haven't experienced one. I've only experienced like when you call in customer service, and those things just make me mad.
No,
because
that's
those are
different.
bad. Those are really bad.
Yeah.
And awful.
I can believe that it's pretty good.
Dang. But
based on this,
so it's supposed to be really good. And for younger people who've never listened to radio before and might not know what a DJ is, literally, it's a person that puts the music on, and then in between, they talk a little bit.
Right. Not like a DJ at a club.
Yeah, not a DJ at a club. Like, this is a person who's like, you know, trying to engage you and be like, hey, we have a relationship and I'm playing the music and you're listening to me and we're kind of like buddies, and like they say little funny things and stuff. And, you know, I like DJs. So this appeals to me for some reason. Like, I might be the only person who's kind of excited about this feature. But again, that's going to be a wrap for me, friend. Because what the heck else can I do except this show that a freaking AI can't do anymore? And so many of you may have wondered what I actually do for a living other than this show, because we're not making any money on this show. So how do I pay for my life?
Money on this show.
Yeah. And I've been kind of vague about it. So I am a freelance journalist and a news anchor at KFI AM 640 in LA. I speak on the radio for my job. I write and I read the news on air. Both things that AI-powered programs can do now.
I don't think, man.
I think I'm pretty damn good at it. But if you could synthesize my voice or something that's similar to my voice and my rhythm and my cadence and my delivery, you know, companies are all about the bottom line.
Yeah,
and if it's cheaper than me, that's a quick decision.
Dang.
But I am a member of the Screen Actors Guild, card-carrying member of that union, so I hope they fight for me and keep that crap out of my station.
I wish you luck.
Thanks.
That's so funny.
All right, what do you got?
Okay. So the Associated Press reported on a very scandalous happening in the city of Hanover.
Ooh, Germany. Right?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay.
Okay. A ballet director ran into a reviewer at an opera premiere. She had written a bad review about a ballet he was directing at the Hanover Opera House. He approached her, whipped out a paper bag, grabbed a chunk of animal feces, and proceeded to smear animal poop on her face. Okay, so this is crazy enough on its own. But my favorite part of this story is that you know how they try to like smooth over these types of outbursts with a public apology and all that?
Yeah.
Here's the main points of his apology. He admits that, in quotes, his choice of means wasn't super. He then relays that he's never done anything like that before and says, I was a bit shocked at myself. I truly don't understand how one can be shocked by their own actions, but also take the time to procure animal poop, put it in a paper bag, then like figure out where this reviewer is going to be, march up to her, put his hand in the bag, grab the poop, and then smash it on her face. Like, this was planned, my man. This was planned.
Yeah, but I think that insanity can last longer than a moment.
Oh, my God.
In
How
this
long,
guy's, not in
though?
his defense, because I've never done anything that crazy.
I mean,
but I have looked back on periods of my life and been like, I think I was insane for a couple weeks there. Like there was
really?
a
Week?
A week, yeah. Especially if
seems
someone
so long
I
to
mean,
me.
hey, you took the time to make a no class pic about a dude who gave you one bad comment on your TikTok. So things fester
yeah, but
and
not
things
like,
take a
I'm
long
not like,
time.
oh, I'm going to go do something.
No, of course not. But you're still thinking about it. And if
I'm not grabbing a poop and smashing it in his face. This is not even in the same category.
I feel like they're in the same.
No, absolutely
No?
not. I
Okay.
agree hardcore.
Maybe
with
that's
this
why
one.
I'm nuts, and maybe that's why I'm like relating to this guy. Is because to me, I'm like,
You're like, oh, I could
could get
procure
there.
some animal
might,
poop.
might get there.
I could not. That is so crazy.
It's pretty crazy.
Okay, at the end of his apology, he complains that his work has been soiled for years,
Ooh.
and he doesn't agree with the reviewer. Needless to say, he has been banned from the Hanover Opera House.
Oh, sorry, guy.
Well, I mean, you can't just have people like
No, you can't
throwing poop at
You can't
people.
be pooping on people.
No,
bad.
absolutely not. That is bad for business.
It's a really bad look. You said it was ballet?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's too high class to be,
No.
no, there's no forgiveness there.
No,
Not in that
Not
world.
okay.
All right, nice. I don't know
Yeah.
how you, again, found something that I'm on the AP all day. I never saw that. I was about to say, never saw that crap.
Ba-dunch.
All right.
Nice.
Well, when we come back, we're going to take a look in a book and
Oh my
find
God.
that it's full of lies. I had a thing, but you killed my punchline.
Oh my God, it was so funny already. Do it again. I thought that was the punchline.
No, that was not the punchline. All right, when we come back, we're taking a look in a book and finding that it's full of lies. Then we've got an update on a segment we talked about in episode 6. It's all coming up. Thanks so much for listening. We love having you here. Morgan's listening, and we'll be right back.
I believe you saying that. So Brian found a classic piece of work, a book of high esteem on our building's community table. It's from the 70s, called 2,201 Fascinating Facts. It's back, our segment called 100% Facts.
Is that a fact?
100%.
No, it's not a fact. It's just what I heard. That's just what I heard.
Okay, what do you got for us?
All right, so first we've got a trio of facts.
Ooh.
There was nothing as meaty as Napoleon and the Skull Cup, so we
All
got
right.
three
All right, fair
little
enough.
ones here, but there's plenty of meat still.
Okay.
So number 1,
Okay.
a French kiss in France is called an English kiss.
No, it's
Okay,
not.
so According to a book written by Cheryl Kirschenbaum called Science of Kissing, the term came from American and British soldiers who went to France during World War I and were shocked at how the women kissed over there.
What?
So, to my mind, this is mind-blowing because can you imagine growing up in a country that was so bland, and I'm talking about America, that kissing with tongue was something that was like wild and that you had never experienced?
Is it really that we didn't do it before?
That's what they're saying. Apparently,
No
it was
way.
never done. Or if it was done, it was a mad scandal, and it was something that,
What?
tasteful people in youths wouldn't do. So, thank God we live today, friend. Thank God.
Yeah.
But anyway,
It's a fun time.
what do the French call it? I could find nothing
Really?
about them calling it an English kiss.
No, that sounds insane.
Found nothing.
All right.
Everything I saw says they don't even have a term for it.
It's just a kissing.
Although, apparently in the last couple years, a new form of slang for it has popped up since like 2014.
Mm-hmm.
And they call it galoche.
What does that mean?
That apparently means to French kiss. It's a slang word for French kiss.
All right.
Galoche.
It's evolving.
Yeah. They've been doing it forever.
Yeah,
It's just
yes.
now they're
They have,
labeling
like,
it,
terms.
I guess. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
So,
Interesting.
English kissing, a myth. Yet again, this book leads us down lies.
Man, they had a bold claim with that title and,
Yeah, facts, they say.
not living up to it. Okay.
Okay, number 2.
Uh-huh.
Ants stretch and yawn when they wake up in the morning. Okay.
I hope this one's true.
All right. Well, ants do sleep, but it's for relatively short periods of time. Like 7 to 8 minutes, they freeze.
No way.
And then they move again, apparently.
Oh, weird.
They do stretch.
Huh?
Not surprising to me. Anything that moves probably stretches. But they
cute.
don't yawn.
Aw.
But the reason they don't yawn is because what a yawn really is an intake of air. Like we're inhaling through the mouth with the jaw wide open. And ants can't do this.
Man.
They can stretch their mandibles,
I've seen them do that.
but they don't breathe through their mouths. They intake air through tiny holes on the sides of their bodies.
Don't tell me that.
Yeah, it's like
I
if
don't
you
like
it's
it.
like if you had
I don't like holes. Don't say that.
but they're tiny.
I don't
want
to hear about that.
You know
no.
how small that would
don't
be?
Say that to my face. No.
Anyway, so
Eh.
you can't yawn if you don't inhale through the mouth.
Yeah, okay. That
Mammals
makes sense.
do it, others, but ants don't. It's a very cute image to think of an ant waking
That
up in the
is cute.
morning and yawning and doing that kind of thing. But
Ready to go find a crumb.
yeah, it ain't true.
Damn.
Another myth.
Man, this book is really. Will we find a truth ever?
Well, ants stretch. That's about the only truth that we've gotten
we
so
got a
far.
partial.
Okay, and the last one is the craziest one to me.
Ooh, okay.
This book claims you can see the stars during the day from the bottom of a well.
Absolutely not.
Okay, well,
There's no way.
I had to do some research, but my knee-jerk...
If this is true, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
My
but-
knee-jerk was this is straight crazy, but okay.
Yeah.
So, the reason that we can't see stars during the day is that sunlight literally lights up the atmosphere. The atmosphere itself is invisible.
Okay.
But
yes.
when light is on it, the particles get lit up and the light bounces around and everything gets brighter.
Okay.
And that's why daytime is so bright. Even in shadow, even in the shade, there's still tons of ambient light. And that's
Right.
because sun's light is
Bouncing.
lighting everything up. Everything is getting lit up by this.
Cool.
But at night, there's none of that.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we can see straight through the atmosphere out to the stars at night.
Makes
So,
sense.
how in the world is being in a deep hole with a tiny little narrow view of the sky supposed to undo this? It doesn't even make any logical sense. But to confirm it, because I'm all about checking facts,
Yeah.
because I'm a
What'd you
journalist
find?
here,
What'd you find?
I've never been trapped in a well, but there was a Snopes page on this where they quote an entry from the Journal of the British Astronomical Association in 1916 that confirmed that a dude stood at the bottom of a 900-foot deep shaft
Okay.
and looked up, and he said not only could he not see the stars during the day, but the contrast between the darkness
Yeah.
inside the shaft and the circle of sky visible above it made the sky look even brighter than
yeah,
normal.
I'm sure. It was just a bright orb, probably.
Yeah, and no stars.
So
there.
funny.
So
Who put that in there?
Who put this book together?
I think they're just like, let's just F with everyone.
Let's just, hey, this sounds cool.
This will be scandalous.
Throw it in. So 3 for 3
That is really
myths
funny.
right there.
Terrible. This book is the worst
This book is bad. It's fun to look them up, though, and just
that is
prove them wrong. The world used to be a simpler place, and people used to believe a lot of things.
Yeah, they didn't have the Googles.
Yeah, although nowadays people believe a lot of really crazy things
true.
that seem very not,
That's true.
real, but whatever. We're here. We're here to fact check it.
We're
prove
doing
it. Prove it wrong.
Okay. When we come back, some new perspective on the work-life balance. It was surprising to us. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. So a few weeks ago, back on episode 6, we had text reader read an email that my uncle, who's also our dentist, sent out to his patients talking about his out-of-reach retirement, and Morgan and I talked about our doubts on how we could possibly expect to age comfortably if this very successful man was struggling with it. But it turns out that we were way off base, friend. My uncle heard our episode and sent me a text, and it really blew my mind, and it totally changed how I thought about him and what he meant when he joked about how he would only be able to retire upon death. And he said listening to us talk about it gave him some perspective, and I asked him if I could share his response with you guys. And so here it is. He said, "Why would I retire? Slow down, maybe. I'm like a man with a man cave. I have really cool tools, a clean shop, personal interactions. My favorite is a helpful person hands me the tools and returns the shop to pristine condition." My uncle really likes things clean. "It's the best hobby I've ever had. To be active, valued, and make some income is my idea of retirement. Eventually, we'll have a younger and better-looking dentist that arrives. One day, I'll come to work and the team will tell me I have no patience and I can go home early. I'll stay as long as I have value. Maybe I can pick up lunch and do shredding. In at 10 a.m. and out by 2 p.m. At least 1 to 2 week vacations every quarter. Retirement is doing what you want, with whom you want, when you want. When I start oozing and smelling, it's time. I have my bug out kit ready."
That's great.
So yeah, we were way off.
Yeah.
It was so gloomy, if you remember this episode.
I mean, it was like very dark humor.
Yes.
Which I appreciate.
Of course.
Of course. But yeah, what he sent you now is much more uplifting.
Way more uplifting.
I was like, okay, I'm happy for him.
And he sounds happy where he's at. And he knows that. And he knows that he wants to stay around his office.
Right.
Even as he ages. Total 180.
Yes.
From what we thought.
Yeah.
And we brought it up to our parents.
Right.
Because it was we were like, whoa. And we were like, isn't this crazy? And it actually turns out that Morgan's dad and my mom are going through a similar stage in their work life. And they really shed some light on what they're working towards retirement and what it actually looks like. So we asked them if they would share with us what's going on in their thoughts about the future, because maybe we've been thinking about this retirement thing completely wrong.
Yeah.
And so they called our voicemail and, again, blew our minds even more.
Yes,
and
very
so
cool.
Here's what they had to say about their retirement.
I think Serena Williams said it best. "I'm not retiring. I'm going through an evolution."
It really was not a planned idea. It was in between positions. I got a call to interview for this job that I'm in right now. When negotiating, I felt it was just right to pull back to 30 hours rather than work full-time at 40.
When I was younger, I thought of retirement as stopping, resting, just being old in your chair. Something I really do not want to do.
When you're working so much, you oftentimes don't think too deeply about yourself or the others in your life. And I think that it's time for me to do that. That pause is forcing me to do that.
I was forced into part-time work during the pandemic when the design field came to a halt. And it was a really hard adjustment for me. I'd been working 8, 10 hours of self-induced work And when it slowed down, I wasn't ready. I just didn't know what to do with myself.
I would go stir crazy trying to fill my time each week. Like, what do I do?
I went back to work full time just as soon as I could, but I found that I'd changed. I was no longer driven by the same forces that I used to be.
I'm very relaxed when I'm off of work, and I feel very focused when I am. This keeps me highly motivated to be fully present to both those aspects. It feels healthy, balanced. Don't get me wrong. I like making money, which allows me to do things I want to do now and in the future.
I also received Social Security in the mail, and that made me think of age. I realized that I could live 30 years more, and there was a lot of things that I could do and accomplish and that I wanted to do and accomplish.
One reason I would go back to full-time would be maybe I'm old-fashioned. I need to provide for my family keeps coming up in my head.
When I was younger, I had a path, partnership, child, good job, a home. And now I realize I don't have a path, and I really don't want a path. I have a part-time job, and it's remote, and I can travel, and I can do what I want, and I have so many opportunities to become the person that I want to be, and I hope to be. Really, it's just an exciting time. One of my favorite times, I think, that I've had in my life. I realize I do not want to commit to anything long-term because it changes. I might get in that RV and travel and hate it and want to sell that thing right away. I might move closer to my kids and they move somewhere else.
There will be a time when full retirement is upon me, and I know that. Not right around the corner. I think retirement is doing what needs to get done in reference to others. The time that day-to-day stressors will go away. We do so much for ourselves in a way of getting ahead, per se, in life, work mostly, that we need to repay those gifts. I think it's more about others than yourself. It's reflective.
You have to find out what it is, and that takes time. It could take 30 years. But hopefully, along the way, it's just a wonderful, wonderful journey.
That's cool.
Yeah, we really want to thank my uncle and my mom and your dad so much for calling in and sharing with us, very personal experiences.
Yeah, thank you so much for taking the time.
Yeah.
It was so crazy. This really gave me such a positive feeling about moving through the stages of life. I didn't expect to feel so hopeful listening to people talk about retirement, and it was just cool to hear their thoughts.
It was.
It's like a good little note for everyone. Like, go ask people questions you wouldn't normally ask.
100%.
Yeah, cool.
And I feel like we've said this on the show before.
Yeah.
You think that you know things, but you don't know things
really
until you ask
surprised me.
people and really talk to people, even our own freaking parents.
Yeah. Like, you think you know everything about them.
You think you do.
Yeah, so anyway.
It's great.
It was really
and
awesome.
Hearing people's stories is a huge part of what we wanted our show to be. And if you guys ever have any thoughts or feelings on some of the things that you hear us talk about in this show, you can always share them with us on the voicemail, 877-7-NO-CLASS, or anywhere else we are. We really appreciate it, and we love it, and we love updating and following up and expanding our knowledge on these topics.
We're in this together.
All right, when we come back, it's that time. Your No Class Picks of the Week. Stay with us. It's time to wind down the show here, bring it to a close the only proper way with our No Class Picks of the Week.
You're just a jealous,
No class.
lazy bum.
No class pick.
All right. My pick this week, it's actually a class pick.
All right.
Okay.
Bringing the positivity.
Bringing it. Praising people. Morgan and I go out on a date to celebrate 100 downloads of the show. Thank you, guys.
Yes.
And we go to our go-to happy hour Mexican restaurant. Chips and salsa and a margarita is dinner.
Yep.
I don't know if you guys knew about it, but you
great.
can do that. You can do that.
You can do that.
All
It's
right.
allowed. We checked.
So we're walking up, and it's late, and there aren't many people in the parking lot. There are two guys. One of them is near the door, and the other one is closer to us. And the guy at the door turns because he doesn't think there's anybody around. Turns to his friend without looking, and he says really loud, "Hey, bro, you should get some of that stripper chicken." And then he sees Morgan, and he drops his eyes to the floor, and he says, "Oh," and doesn't say another word until he walks up to his friend and starts talking quietly so we can't hear them. I don't know what he was going to say.
I don't either.
But obviously, he thought it was no class to continue on talking out loud about whatever that was he was going to say with Morgan present. I don't know if he was like, this is a lady or this is a stranger and I should stop talking right now. And for that, that's a class move. Showing restraint, erring on the side of caution, that's class.
I guess you're right.
It is.
Yeah.
Like so many times I'm out in the world and there's people just talking out loud. And it's like, that's not.
Or like swearing a bunch in front of the kids.
Yes, that drives me crazy.
Like that's so
when Lily
stop.
was little, I would constantly say to people like, hey, can you not?
Yeah, like
I'm
why?
here with my young daughter. Can you please not be dropping F-bombs constantly?
Yeah, or saying gross things.
Yeah, or keep your voice down. There are many ways to handle that.
It's true.
And he chose one.
That's true.
And I'm down with this guy.
All right.
And you know what? He gets the salute. And I just bumped the mic with my salute. That's how strong I feel. Yeah, that's my class pick.
All right.
Good for him.
All right. Can you imagine if you gave him a salute in real life?
You know, I thought about doing it in the moment.
Just stop saluting people. No one knows what you're doing.
They get it.
They get it.
They get it.
You're so crazy. Okay. My no class pick is about not having the cojones to admit when you're wrong.
Okay.
My two examples take place in parking lots. The first was recent. I've just backed out of a space, and this particular parking lot was a one-way loop. This bitch is going the wrong way in an angled loop parking lot. It has arrows on the ground and everything. She's facing me, and I make a little gesture while shaking my head, like, back up. This is one way, dude. Like, my vibe was very, nah, not today. She pops her head out of her car and screams, "Mind your own business." And, like, somehow squeezes her car into this weird side space that isn't a parking space, but I can't get past. So I back up to let her through. Like, mind your own business. My business is getting out of this parking lot, which you are blocking. And she's still cursing at me while I'm backing up. The gall. Like, I'm sorry you're embarrassed because you look dumb right now, but don't yell at me.
Nah, people can't handle that. You call them out. If you call them out, that's when the rage.
Yeah, their embarrassment.
Yeah, the embarrassment. I mean, this
takes over.
This is kind of like what we were talking about in the beginning with the ballet guy. It's the criticism.
Well,
it makes people crazy.
It sets off a switch.
It's like, and at that point when she does that, when you've called her out, she has doubled down.
Yeah,
she has put stakes in the ground.
Way.
It's like,
She's gonna back out of this.
We'll never.
I know.
We'll never.
And I'm like, well, I guess I'm backing up this whole length of parking lot so that you can backwards park yourself. I don't know.
Sounds weird.
It was insane. This one reminded me of a different parking lot situation.
Oh my God.
Okay. So a man hit me in a Ralph's parking lot a couple years ago. Like, full hit. My body went onto the hood of his car. My groceries fell on the ground. He was doing one of those whip turns into a parking spot where the driver for some reason speeds up to go into the parking space.
Dangerous.
Insane. I don't know why people do that. So he hits me, rolls down his window and yells, "It's dark. No one can see you." I'm too shocked to respond. He backs up, moves onto another space, parks, and goes into the grocery store. And this other dude who's at his truck is staring at me also shook. And he's like, "Are you okay? I can't believe that guy didn't apologize." I was just like, "Yeah." And I was trying to chase my apples that were rolling all over the parking lot.
Damn,
This is an extreme example.
No
obviously.
Regrets, huh?
Yeah, nothing.
Just that's on you.
Went to go get his groceries.
It's dark, homie.
I was like, my body has been hit.
That's insane.
And not to toot my own horn or anything, but I practice humbling myself, even for small things. I practice apologizing. I really think it's a dying art. I really do.
That's class. That's because you have got class.
Come on.
Yeah. Good Lord, friend. I'm glad
This
you're
is what
alive.
I'm battling out there, man.
I'm glad I got to meet you. You have bad luck in parking lots, I think
really
is what
do. And now, like, ever since then, I'm like, where are all the cars?
It's
like,
true. It's true. Morgan has a
and
deep
whenever
paranoia.
You're like always walking behind cars who are about to like back up and stuff. And I'm like, watch out, man.
I guess because
You don't know these guys like I do.
I've never been hit. Jeez.
So anyway.
All right, guys. Well, that's our show. Morgan's had a rough life, as I've said before. Thanks so much for being here and hanging with us and hearing Morgan's tragic tales. Thanks so much for listening. Reach out to us everywhere. We are on Twitter at thatsnoclass, Instagram at thatsnoclass. Hey, YouTubers, we've turned comments on. TikTok also. We turned comments on.
I'm so scared. I'm so scared for
You
what's
can
to
join the
come.
conversation. We got to make Morgan hard. She's going to like, soon she's going to
I can't handle the
relish
trolls.
in it. Anyway, that's noclass@gmail.com. And as always, we want to hear your no class picks. Call the voicemail, 877-7-NO-CLASS. We love hearing from you guys, and we love to have your stories on the show.
Stay classy.
Stay classy, and have a great week.